Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome to this video. I'm so excited. So this week I'm doing a big sister advice video. I'm going to be answering all your questions about growing up, boyfriends, friends, everything. Basically, this is just a nice chill video. I'm wearing a hoodie, keeping it casual and comfy because I've had kind of a stressful week. I'm just feeling a bit stressed at the moment, so I need to chill out and just relax. And I don't know, thought it'd be fun to just chat to you guys, reply to your questions. So that's what we're doing today. I also did an extra upload this week. On Tuesday, I uploaded an autumn lookbook, and it's one of my favorite videos ever. Just edited like kind of different to how I would usually edit. It's just like a cool setup in my opinion. So if you missed it, I will link it on the first line of the description if you're interested. And yeah, I hope you're having a good week. You're not too stressed and you're just living in the moment. I don't know why I said that. Right, so let's get into this video. I asked on the YouTube like community thingy for some questions or like advice that you want, or things that you want my opinion on. So thank you if you commented anything. That's really obviously helping me out because I would have no video without that. I'm just gonna scroll through and do the ones with the most likes. Also, this is my orangutan. He is, I don't know what his name is or anything, but basically when you like donate money to WWF, like the Wildlife Foundation people, like you can do a thing where you donate every month and they send you a little animal, and he's so cute and I love him so much. It makes me sad when I see those videos of like the Amazon being like torn down and all the orangutans have nowhere to live. And I have a video of like 50 things you can do to help save the planet if you relate. First one is, how do you know when you've made the right friends / in the right friendship group for you? Love you. Love you too, Rachel. I feel like this just comes with time. You can't necessarily, you know, like meet somebody and that day know that they're a good person for you or not. But I think as a general consensus, something that would help is like when you leave your like friends, or when you, I don't know, you've just hung out for hours and stuff and you go home, do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel happy? Do you feel like, I don't know, positive? Because I feel like that's how I feel with my friends, and I feel like you just leave and you're like, oh my god, I love them so much, like I had such a nice time, and they just make you feel good and don't make you feel bad about yourself or about anything. Just like positivity. I feel like that's probably a good tell they're the right friends. I feel like sometimes it feels like they're the right friends and then it maybe turns out that they're not, and I think in situations like that it's just remembering to put yourself first sometimes. Honestly, you don't have enough time to like waste time on that person. Next one is being your real authentic self in college. I'm gonna take this as university. So my advice for being yourself, I feel like this is one thing that I have been pretty good at, is just being myself. At university, it's a fresh start. You can do whatever you want, you know, like you don't have to do anything. No one's holding you down to do something. Do things that make you happy and that you enjoy doing, and don't do things to look cool or to make people like you or something, because I think the best thing you can do for making friends is to do the things that make you happy, and then you'll find people that like those things or like that you like those things, if that makes sense. So for example, I don't really go clubbing much, but all my friends either don't care that I don't go or don't go themselves. So I feel like that's the kind of thing. Do things that make you happy. In school, obviously there's a lot of, you know, you're tied down to like schoolwork and like what your parents want you to do, all of that sort of thing. And in uni, that's all kind of gone, and I think it's important to, I don't know, check up on yourself and be like, is this thing that I'm doing making me happy? Is this worth it? There's so many people at uni, like there's no need to pretend to be somebody else to make friends or to impress someone, because it's not like school where there's like 100 something people in your year or however many. There's so many people and you'll definitely find people like you. There's no need to like pretend. How could I be more comfortable with the way I look and just more confident in general? By the way, love you. Love you too. So I think the first thing is to realize that nobody is fully confident. Everyone has insecurities, I feel like, especially online. Obviously, it's so easy to like scroll through Instagram and be like, wow, they look amazing. They're skinnier than me, they have longer legs than me, they look prettier than me. Then compare yourself to them and feel rubbish about the way that you look. Know that they have insecurities and could be worse than yours, could be less than you, but they will be insecure about something. I think once you realize there's no like perfect body where you're going to get to it and then you're going to be magically like never insecure about anything, because nobody is like that. And once you realize that, it's so much easier to be comfortable with the way you are. The first thing you should do if you want to change the way you look is love the body that you have, so that when you change, you aren't relying on that to make you happy. And in terms of just being confident in general, do things that scare you a bit. Like, something that used to scare me is like answering the phone. Like, I would just never answer the phone or like call anybody because I was so scared of answering the phone. I don't know why, it just scares me. And then in my job, I like work on like a desk and I had to answer the phone, and I had to do it all the time, over and over, and in front of the managers as well. So it's like they're watching and listening to what you're saying, and it just gave me so much anxiety at first. But now I just feel like I can answer the phone, you know, like if I have a problem, I can like call up the company or whatever. Like, it's just so much easier now. I can call people. So never have done that unless I had been forced by my job to answer the phone. Just things like that, like put yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Confidence comes with like making things that feel uncomfortable a bit more natural. How did you find your style? I feel like there was quite a few people that commented this, and I just feel like I don't know. I don't really have a specific style. Like, maybe you think I do, tell me in the comments if you think I do, but I see something and I'm like, okay, I like that, and that's how I like make my wardrobe, rather than being like picking one specific style and only buying things from that style, if you make sense. Like, everyone's style should just be their own individual style. Like, you don't have to follow one thing. In terms of like finding inspiration for outfits and like things that I like, I'd normally just search on Pinterest. Pinterest is the best. Like, just search through, you can just type in like colors that you like or like a certain style and like get inspiration from loads of different styles, and you can make boards and like save all the pictures, and then that's kind of a way of like finding new clothes or finding like a new style, I guess. So I do that a lot as well. How to show a guy that you like him without saying it? Well, my first thought would be like, life's too short, just tell him. There's no point like beating around the bush. But if you don't feel comfortable to do that, or you don't, I don't know, you're just not ready, not really there yet, I would say show them that you appreciate them. Like, I don't know, like remember little things that they say and like bring them up, or just things like that. I don't know, like remember little things that they mention and like bring it up again, like show that you're like really listening and that you're interested in what they're talking about. Yeah, I feel like invest time, like ask them like, do you want to go get a drink or like go get coffee or something? Just like show them that you are willing to like spend your time with them. That's a good one. But I feel like genuinely like just hang out with them a bit and then tell them like you're missing out on time where you could be like together, and like, I don't know, just tell them. Basically, advice on relationships in high school. So, me and my boyfriend met in sixth form. We started dating like relatively early on the year. So we spent like almost 2 years being in a relationship in school. So I feel like I have like experience for this one. I think the thing about school that's annoying is that everybody's like up in everybody else's business. Like, if a couple breaks up, or even if they have like an argument or whatever, everyone kind of finds out and everyone knows, and that's just like not nice thing, I think, and it's not very healthy either for your relationship. So my advice for being in a relationship in school is to keep things private. Obviously you can chat to your friends and people that you trust about things that are going on. I would say just keep it more outside of school. We barely hung out at school at all. Like, I feel like I was always just with my friendship group and he was with his, and then after school we would like hang out, or at the weekends and stuff. Just keep it more outside of school. And I feel like that helped because it gave us like time to properly hang out, because when you're at school and hanging out, it's not really like the same, if that makes sense. I just feel like there's teachers around, there's other people that you're not even friends with and stuff. Like, it's just not the same. Obviously if you did break up with them, everyone probably will find out, and that's hard because you're going through something on your own as well, and then having other people know isn't the nicest thing, and it just spreads so quickly. So that's why it's also really important to, like, when you're dating someone in school, it can be tempting to just spend all your time with them, but it's not a good idea. Remember to make time for your friends and hang out with other people other than the person you're going out with. Have you ever struggled with social anxiety, and if yes, some tips on how to deal with it? I don't want to say like I have anxiety, because I definitely, like, I have not been diagnosed with that or anything, but I have experienced things similar, or like the symptoms and stuff. I've definitely had like a couple panic attacks, not for like years, luckily. I have experienced that, and tips on how to deal with it. This is like a tricky one because I feel like I don't want to give advice that I'm not like qualified to give, and I don't really know the answer, but I feel like if you feel that way, the best thing you can do is like try and get help like from your parents or teacher or like somebody that actually knows what they're talking about. And then in the meantime, my advice would be understand what situations it is that gives you that anxiety, because I feel like for me, it used to kind of just happen out of nowhere and I would be like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what's happening. And now I'm very much like aware of things that make me feel anxious or things that like, I don't know, make me feel that way. It's not necessarily that I avoid those situations, because that's really a bad sign, but I think it's just preparing yourself for that. So like, for example, like with the phone thing, like it just gave me anxiety to answer the phone, and just knowing that that is inevitably, when I go to my shift, like inevitably something I'm gonna have to do, you know, like you can just tell yourself, you know, like if I answer the phone I say the wrong thing or it's like awkward or whatever, like it doesn't matter, they're not there in person, it's not important, I can always just ask the manager if I don't know the answer, things like that. Just like kind of like tell yourself how the thing that you're like focusing on and that's giving you the anxiety in the moment, it's really hard to remember that that's not a big deal and that you can overcome it. If you sort of think about that beforehand and tell yourself all those things, all those reasons why there's no need to be anxious over that thing, I think that can help in like the grand scheme of things. Like try and get some proper help with it. How do you manage posting on YouTube every week and all the university work? Oh my god. This week I've been stressed. Like I feel like I have so much on. I have obviously like doing YouTube, uni, I do cheer as well, and then I also have like, I had a friend come to visit, and I just like, I have a social life as well, you know, I'm not just like sitting working all the time. I guess my advice for time management would be prioritize things that you think are important. Like the way that I manage it is because every single one of those things I feel like is necessary. I couldn't cut anything out because it would reduce my overall happiness. And although it's like sometimes stressful and I'm like sometimes like really busy, but like I would never ever stop posting videos because it just makes me happy. And like, I don't know, just remember why you're doing all the things you're doing. And if you're doing something you don't want to do, like school or something that you have to do, remember that it's going to come to an end and it's going to help you in the long run. You're going to get to a point where you can choose your life a bit more and you have more control. When you get there, it's going to be worth it. How to make friends when you don't get on with your flatmates. This is me last year. So my flatmates in halls, they were all really nice people and they were all clean and tidy and like it was fine, but we weren't friends. We just didn't really have the same, I don't know, we were just all on such different like wavelengths. So I definitely had to make friends like outside of that. So I think the best way is to join like clubs or societies or like ask people in lectures, like do you want to go get coffee or something. At uni I feel like it's harder to make friends than at school, because at school you're like forced to hang out with people all the time and that isn't really a thing in uni. So I think create situations where you will repeatedly see people, like a society or a club, or you know, just make something like a thing. This one I thought was like, what the hell? So they said, how do you cope in a long distance relationship with your boyfriend in a different university? Do you have concerns you both may find other people, etc., as people say you find love at uni? At the University of Edinburgh and my boyfriend's at the University of Birmingham, so it's like a 5-hour trip. In the answer to like how do I cope, I think the first thing is to see the positives in what's happening. So the first one is I really like living in Edinburgh. Another thing is when we do see each other and when we do get to spend time together, we like appreciate it so much more now. Obviously like we used to go to school together and it's so easy to take that for granted, but now it's so precious. Another thing you can do is like try and always have like the next time you're seeing each other booked. Like even if it's like 2 months away, I know when it's next coming and I can like look forward to that, rather than being like, oh, I don't know when it's gonna happen and like stressing out that it's gonna be too long and stuff like that. Yeah, obviously it's sad, like it's not an easy thing. It's one of those things that like I never question because I know this is the only way. Like the only other option is to like break up, and like when you love someone, that's not what you're gonna do, is it? So it's just, I think remembering the positives, and then this is the situation right now, and yeah, it's just a chapter of life and it will come to an end eventually, and I'm gonna enjoy my life for what I have in it right now. In terms of like finding other people at uni, like I've never really even thought about that until I read that comment, but if you are finding other people or you're just, I don't know, intrigued by other people, I think that's a sign that your relationship isn't as strong as you might have thought. And if anything, I think long distance can show you a relationship that isn't healthy or isn't, you know, gonna work long term. Sometimes it's a good thing to find that out, help you move on and like realize that this just isn't a healthy relationship. So what's it like being half English and half Indian? I thought that was an interesting one. I don't really know what it's like because that's like all I know. Like, I don't think about it. It's like saying what's it like being fully English or fully Indian or, you know, whatever. Like, it's just whatever you know. I think from my appearance, I feel like people don't always know like my ethnicity is. I feel like that's a comment I get quite a lot. I think people often think I'm like Spanish or something like that. I think because people don't realize like from the offset of like meeting me, I didn't really have that experience of being like Indian, just because people don't know as much. Yeah, I really like being mixed race. I feel like I have two different cultures. I get to go to like my two different grandparents. I get to see like such different culture and such different experience going to like each of their houses, and I just think it's really cool. And yeah, I really like it. So okay, so that's all the questions that I'm going to answer for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to be doing like more uni content coming soon. It's just because I'm like stressed out and busy and stuff that I'm trying to like figure out my routine and just have a bit more time, because filming in the day is like takes up a lot of time, and when I'm really busy it's hard, but that will be coming soon, I promise. I think next week's video is going to be a university based video, so comment any ideas you have for that. And yeah, I also just want to say thank you so much for subscribing and watching my channel. As I'm filming this, I have like 45,000 subscribers, and I honestly, like, I say that number, but it doesn't correlate in my head. I'm just so confused. I just don't understand. And yeah, it's so cool. I just don't get it. But yeah, thank you so much for subscribing. I never would have like thought this would have happened. I don't know. Literally just like blows my mind. Yeah, I love you all so much. I hope you're enjoying my videos at the moment. I feel like I'm trying to be as consistent as possible and post all the time. So I hope that you're enjoying. I love you all so much. I will see you next Sunday. Bye.